What's up, gente? Check this out, man. I am back, but today is going to be very different. This right here, what I'm dropping is, oh my goodness. Mr. Sonny from the Streets Ain't Loyal and Mr. Dubs. Okay, so I'm going to get straight to the punch here. You know what I mean? I'm going to do a little bit of speculating on this because I'm very familiar with the behavior of certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, before I go to move on to this twist, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, put your notification bell on all, share this channel. Once we reach that 10,000 mark, I will start doing lives. On my lives, everyone is welcome to pull up. On my lives, we could discuss anything that comes to mind, but keep in mind, I am a fitness channel with a twist. So if you want to inquire about fitness or nutrition or overall health in general, it'll be an open discussion for whatever. You know, I'll elaborate on anything per it's in my comfort zone. Just keep it that way, okay? If you guys want to come on there and, you know, chop it up and just shoot the shit, we could do that too. But anyways, people, with that being said, once again, hit the like and subscribe button. 10,000 subscribers, I will start doing lives, and everybody's welcome to pull up. If you want to get started in your fitness journey, hit me up. It's highpowerfitness@yahoo.com, or go to my Instagram, highpowerfitness, high_power_fitness_. Shoot me a DM, and we'll get you started on becoming that best version of yourself. Guaranteed in a 3-month program, you could get results. Now, let's get to it. So right now, I was actually doing a little bit of a leg workout, right? And Sonny popped up on my screen from the Streets Ain't Loyal. For those of you that don't know who Mr. Sonny is, which I'm sure and well aware that everyone here on social media knows who he is. He's been around for a while, man. That right there is a really good dude. You know, I've met him a couple times in person. Well, I've met him in person, and I ran into him a few other times at events that we were at, because we pull up basically to the same events and we basically know the same gente. And every time I had a run-in with this individual, he's like the gentle giant. Let's just put it that way. Big dude, man, big dude. Very humble, you know what I mean? It's like he reminds me of my homeboys. Well, I'm gonna say one homeboy, rest in peace, my homeboy Mad Dog. Big Rocha, you know what I mean? And just has that look about him, you know what I mean? The big brocheros. That's who it kind of reminds me of, though. But anyways, like I said, every encounter that I had with Sonny has been very respectful. He presents himself as a professional, very mature, very educated. He's putting himself through college, through ELAC. I'm not sure exactly what he's studying or what he's majoring in. But, you know, coming from the background that he came from my understanding, he was facing a life sentence at one point in time, to doing what he's doing today. That man deserves his flowers. Now, there's another individual. Let's get straight to him, Mr. Dubs. Very well known. We all know how he got started and where he's at today. I'm not going to say nothing bad about Dubs. You know what I mean? I don't know him on a personal level. The only thing I know of Dubs is from what I hear and see behind this screen. Okay, and this is to bring me to where I need to get, because when I was viewing Mr. Sonny's video, he was fucking heated. I didn't think that man had that in him, that held that type of anger or aggression. You know, put it this way, I wouldn't want to be the one to test the waters with him if you're in a cell with him where you can't get away from that big ass dude. He's a big dude, you know what I mean? And like I said, he reminds me of the gentle giant, you know what I'm saying? But he was really angry with Dubs because Dubs spoke on an individual that goes by the name of Spanky. I'm more than sure I know what Spanky this is. If it is the same Spanky, I sends by my boy. You already know, because I pop into the homies' lives every now and then just to say QVO to everybody, and then I bounce because I go to sleep early. You know what I mean? My mat's unrolled by 8 o'clock and lights are out by 8:30, baby. You know, so, and I'm not changing my routine for nobody. You know, my mornings start at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, so anyways, I remember seeing Dubs when he first started to where he's at today. And I remember when he started drinking. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and bash Dubs. I don't know what went on. I'm going to be speculating on this because I've lived that type of life at one time before. Whenever there's alcohol involved, things can be heated in a hot second. People tend to throw rocks in a glass house when you're intoxicated. So I could have just imagined what happened. But like I said, there's always two sides of the story. So I'm not here to pick a side. I'm here just to elaborate a little bit on what Sonny had, the way he came off. You know what I mean? He was really heated, you know, and he has every right to feel the way he feels because obviously the homie Spanky, he has a really tight relationship with him. And I'm hoping to get some more information on this. That way I could elaborate just a little bit more into detail. But I could pretty much hit the nail on the head on what this would stem from. You know, drinking will bring out the best and the worst in anybody. I know this because I was an alcoholic for years. You know, I grew up around alcoholism, and no, my parents, none of my parents drank or smoked or did drugs, you know what I mean? But that was the type of environment I grew up in. Very hostile environment when it came to drinking. There was more fights than good times, let's just put it that way. Shit would be heated in a hot second. So whatever Dubs had said to this individual must have been pretty foul. Well, at least to Sonny it did. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, when it comes to alcohol, it doesn't surprise me. I don't give a fuck who it is. Anybody thinks that they have it under control is full of shit. You don't. You know, I remember, like I said, when Dubs first started getting his pisteando on, I had sent him a mensaje, and I don't know if he got it or not, but I told him, hey, homie, you should pump your brakes a little bit on that pisteandoing because you're starting to get a little bit too comfortable. And when I shot him that mensaje, is what I was referring to is because, you know, we tend to get comfortable around our surroundings and forgetting how fast we could get swooped up again and sent back behind them walls. I know, I've done it myself. When I was fucking around with dope and shit, I thought I could outsmart the fucking law and defeat it. But that's a no winning battle right there. So I'm not saying that he's out there running reckless in the calles, because every time I've ever seen him drink, it was, you know, in his house, you know, wherever he resides at. But obviously Dubs said something that offended Sonny. So now we just sit here and see what's gonna happen. Because I'm telling you right now, this motherfucking YouTube Yarda is becoming activo. I almost feel like participating in some of the stuff. Why? Because there's a bunch of fucking poobutts, fucking funny bunnies and mashicas out there that I would love just to fucking give them a piece of my mind, you know? And I just may, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that, because I had just recently seen a video on fucking Mr. What's the Moreno's name? 16 to Life, Chill. He was just speaking on Dubs as well. You know, like I said, there's a few people I would love to have a chat with. Let's just put it that way. You know, but I'm not going to be here on fucking social media challenging anybody. That's the wrong way to do it, man. You know, it's funny the way these individuals try to do that. Now, if you're doing it to try to, you know, to get a bag, make sure you and the person are in that same wavelength. You know what I mean? The same frequency. Don't be just trying to sneak a bag in your pocket and not let the other person make any fucking feria. That's fucking retarded. You know? But there's a lot of people out here that are like that. And I don't mean that in that type of manner. What I mean, they're just very ignorant. Because, you know, some of the most intelligent people out there, which that's a very harsh name. And I would never address the individuals that suffered with that type of autism, I should say. You know, they're very intelligent. I have a family member that suffers with it. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if they're really suffering because they're very intelligent and they're happy. I mean, they have their mood swings. It is what it is. But so do we, even the folks that claim that are normal, you know? At the end of the day, are we really normal or not? You know what I'm saying? What we're doing here on social media. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. Well, anyways, people, with that being said, if anybody knows anything what went on about that, and if they could shoot me the video or something, more than likely, if it was Dub's video, it got taken down, because that's one thing I know they do over there. They will remove everything. And the reason why, for copyright purposes, because they play a lot of music. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody knows anything, let me know, man, because I would love to speak a little bit more thoroughly on this, because like I've said, I've once suffered with that disease of alcoholism. That shit ain't no joke. You ain't got it under control. I don't give a fuck who you are. It's not controllable. You know what I mean? But anyways, 10,000 subscribers, people. Let's get it going. Let's get these lives running. Let's bring the motherfucking YouTube yarda to life. My YouTube yarda. Now get up and get yours. Let's do this.